In this video, Clement Mihailescu, formerly developer of Company G and FB, recounts how bootcamps, from which he himself emerged, appeared in 2012. Clement graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in 2016 with a bachelor's degree in mathematics, and finding his degree unproductive, he paid $50,000 for 4 months of programming courses at a New York bootcamp, far more than he paid to tuition for a year of his mathematics degree. Some time later, he became an employee of Company G. What Clement paid for 4 months of basic programming code at a bootcamp is more than a year's tuition at Harvard Medical School. So, do you really think any bootcamp is better than Harvard University? Is it really possible that Clement Mihailescu paid $50,000 in 2016 to get hired by Company G, and that this wasn't a bribe to Company G employees to hire him instead of a software engineer from Harvard itself? The bootcamp actually charged $15,000 for classes, but around $35,000 for other services like mock interviews and training on the exercises he would be asked to complete so he could be hired by Company G. Clement tells us
$50,000
because his subconscious betrayed him, and he revealed the amount he actually paid for all the services that led to his being hired. Undoubtedly, Clement is hiding a lot of information. From his inexperience, he believes that anyone from a bootcamp has just enough to get into Company G and stay for more than a year. In Clement's case, he had some mathematical training that helped him adapt to the discrete mathematics studied in computer science. However, when he talks about artificial intelligence and tries to predict how it could make software engineers obsolete, we at US Code know that Clement has no idea what it means to be a software engineer, nor does he have the slightest clue how neural networks or any other procedures carried out through artificial intelligence work. Artificial intelligence today is not capable of replacing any software engineer. Neither ChatGPT, nor Grok, nor Gemini, nor Copilot can even perform 50% of a software engineer's functions. All code generated by these AI tools needs to be supervised by a qualified software engineer. That's why we know Clement Mihailescu doesn't have the necessary knowledge to say what he's saying in any of his YouTube videos. But let's see who Clement Mihailescu really is. In November 2025, Clement Mihailescu showed on his LinkedIn profile that he graduated with a degree in mathematics in 2016. That same year, he completed this bootcamp, and in 2017, he began working at the Company G. He worked there for 2 years and 3 months, but at the same time, he founded AlgoExpert.io, a company that offers condensed preparation courses for applying to any of the major companies in the United States. In other words, Clement lets us see on his LinkedIn profile that he joined Company G to learn firsthand how the hiring process works. Seeing how profitable the bootcamp service was at the time, his intention in joining Company G was to create his own method without the 4-month course, simply selling answers for company exams and claiming an effectiveness rate of over 90%. That is, through his company, AlgoExpert.io, he promises that anyone who uses his services will get the job they want. However, how is it possible that AlgoExpert.io has the exact exercises used in the interviews of the candidate who pays them at that moment, and not others? It's very simple. Clement made contact with people who are still working at Company G for a few thousand or even millions of dollars a month. This person updates him on all the exercises required in the various hiring processes for new candidates. As we know, Clement studied mathematics, but not software engineering, and during his time at Company G, he only wrote some code in a few areas of information engineering. However, given that Company G is so enormous and handles so many areas of computer science across its numerous projects worldwide, it's impossible for him to know absolutely every single hiring process and onboarding process for front-end, back-end, DevOps, VR, computer graphics, and other areas, which he is completely unfamiliar with. With just $67, you can't accumulate enough to bribe the contact inside Company G. What we're saying is that it's not enough to know which exercises will be asked, you also need to be on a list of approved candidates before the recruitment process even begins. That's why we know that most of the candidates recruiters contact every day have already been approved or rejected before the process even starts. If you pay, you're in. If not, you're out. So if we multiply at least $20,000 by 1,000 people per month, we are generating income of at least $20 million per month. Clement used to receive a salary of less than $250,000 per year and is now generating income of more than $20 million per month. That's more than enough to bribe someone within the company and ensure that people who pay a certain amount of money get into the company regardless of their qualifications. This creates problems such as an increasing number of people from large, prestigious universities in the United States losing their jobs and not finding new ones. This is because individuals like Clement and companies like AlgoExpert.io sell the job to someone with no computer science background. This forces large companies like G, M, and Big Smile to discriminate against each US state by allowing them to bring in someone from another state, supposedly because they couldn't find anyone suitable within that state. Even worse, they bring in people from outside the United States because, according to them, the vacancy was never filled with all the candidates within the US. This forces the State Department to provide H-1B visas to people who lie on federal applications, but the US government doesn't notice because it assumes that But if these companies hired them, it's because they verified that they didn't lie on their resumes. If you want to know how manipulation can occur from within, how to convince company personnel, and how to force the company's lawyers to petition state and federal governments to allow all documentation for personnel transfers from one state to another or from another country to the United States, we invite you to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and watch our next video. This will also help more software engineers understand what's happening today.